Hey everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going on to Bitcoin. Big of the CoinsKid crew. So in a minute, the DXY, if we take a look at this. Now this chart is really important. This is why I've been able to make so much money on Bitcoin and crypto over the past few years here because of this chart. For example, way back last year when this was rising like this, and then we get super bearish on Bitcoin and bullish on the dollar and things like that, and proclaiming cash is king and things like that. Like certain YouTuber, Benjamin Cohen right there, who unfortunately blocked me because I did make a post on Twitter. He did post, I think it was on September the 6th or something. He posted this setup for Bitcoin to go to like 20k, and I was like, I don't see that, inverse Cowan, call triggered basically, and he blocked me. But anyway, Bitcoin 68% up from that particular tweet, and I think a lot of his people, a lot of his followers were just still down there waiting to buy the dip basically, and the dip that never came. And obviously I found confidence in the reason why that dip wasn't going to come. But anyway, aside from that, what we do have here in this particular chart, the DXY, is the bearish rising channel. And at this point I said to you, this is building a massive confluence to a huge breakdown in this chart and a huge move for Bitcoin, and we've done exactly that. We've seen a beautiful move up. So I'll still remain, my eyes are glued to this particular chart, because obviously in the year here we've been creating these bearish channels, and at this point when people are getting super bearish on Bitcoin, I said to you, this is a bearish rising channel, this is a bearish rising channel, and this is a bearish rising channel. This is only opportunity for Bitcoin, and so far so good it has been. Now the key thing in this particular chart, like I said to you, and I did relay this to you a few weeks ago whilst I was on holiday, from this point here, this retracement to 0.5 fib, it's a synonymous level to retrace into if it's a dead cat bounce, and I did make a video on that particular scenario called dead cat bounce. Okay, so from this point here we're retracing 0.5 fib, we came down, made the lower low just there, and then the lower high, and right now boom, we've dropped basically to where we formed this particular channel. So we've got to keep an eye on this particular chart, because if we do start to see some kind of reversal in this particular chart, in the sense we get some kind of W double bottom pattern down here, fizzle out like this and start to get back above the thick yellow line, which is your bull market support band for this particular chart, and any chart in my opinion, the thick yellow line, the 20-week EMA, if we do start to take it out and hold its support, it's going to increase the probability of actually coming up and taking that high out. And if we do start to see that, then obviously there's no bias. This could be the confluence of Bitcoin coming in for a correction. So we'll keep an eye on the DXY. Now my analysis on the DXY at the moment is the fact that it has been a dead cat bounce. From this point here, you've had this monster A wave, and from here this has been an A, B, C flat, extended flat correction, and right now you're in a C wave down. So this is analysis that I've had for a very long time, that at this point, if you can identify the top of the C wave, which we did in September and October, this will be an amazing opportunity for Bitcoin, because if this is a C wave to come to the downside, then this drop here is the rocket ship, that's the fuel for that big push up in the crypto markets right there. So far so good, but respecting the data, if this does begin to turn around and starts to get its ass in a W double bottom pattern, it starts to take out the 20, holds it, it's going to increase the probability of coming up. And if we do start to see that high broken, you can say, okay, this is your low right now, you're coming up, it's a 1, it's a 2, you're really starting to come up and potentially taking out them highs, and at that point you're looking at a monumental drop in risk, and obviously Bitcoin. So keep an eye on this as best as we can, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt at the moment. I think that what we've done here, we've come down in an A at this point, okay, then we've had an irregular ABC expanded flat, and right now this is your C wave rearing its ugly head. And with the C wave, like I said to you, if you identify that in this chart, that's an opportunity for Bitcoin. I did relay that to you at the time, and then this next leg to the downside, we should see Bitcoin go in the opposite direction. Really simple, but we'll keep an eye on as best as we can. The thick yellow line, the 20-week EMA, is really important, in my opinion. For example, when you broke above it, and again, this is what we're looking for some kind of reversal structure before we can get remotely bullish on this particular chart and bearish on Bitcoin. But you can clearly see once we broke above a 20, came back down, made the high low there, you got your lovely little ascending triangle, look at that, and then you held it, and you're holding it. It's only when you break down that you've got your macro correction that's in play right now. So if this does begin to break down, in theory this should have been an A wave, this is an ABC of a B wave, and right now this is a C wave, so it should be looking to drop down, and if that's the case, this leg to the downside should be really fruitful for Bitcoin going forward. But I can't guarantee that it's going to do that. It's a simple technical analysis, and if the data turns, and this chart turns around, then we have to respect the fact that that could be confluence to a big macro correction for Bitcoin and a profit area taking position at that. Okay, so far so good, we're doing really well on the Bitcoin chart. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart and see what we can see. Okay, look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We've got to respect the pump, and this is something I keep saying to you. Okay, at the moment I keep seeing people, I'm shorting Bitcoin Bitcoin, you know, I'm sold here and things like that. We're running to the golden ratio, running to the 0.5 fib, we're running to the 702 fib, you know, running to 786 fib, and it just keeps melting through, doesn't it? It keeps pushing through, and day by day it keeps making these new highs. Now, it was last week I said to you, you know, we came up like this when we went vertical, and last week in last week's video I did say to you, we're coming up like this, and possibly, you know, coming up next week we're looking at another vertical, another god candle breakout, because this is what typically we do see in wave 3s, which in theory this should be a wave 3. If it's not, and I'm completely wrong, obviously the data will start to reveal itself, but you know, I'll show you what a wave 3 looks like. This is a wave 3 on the downside. Like I said to you, look at that monster wave 3 to the downside, and again the confluence of the fact that, you know, the 2618 right there, that impulsive move was the fact that that hit the 2618 as well. So if we move to the left, here's a wave 3, look at that beautiful wave 3, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. So like I said to you, if we are in a wave 3, it's dangerous to keep shorting and, you know, even think about taking profit until you start to see more data in the charts. So I've had a theory for a very long time that you know, this is a massive impulsive move here for Bitcoin, and it should come up quite ferociously once it starts going. And you know, pretty much from this point here, you're looking at some kind of V shape up here, aren't you, for Bitcoin? But what we do have on the macro is a massive falling wedge. Okay, and at this point in the year, I did say to you, the breakout back test, I'm looking for Bitcoin to come back up to that red line at least, okay, with a potential to get to the all-time high. So from a technical standpoint, I did relay this to you yesterday, that if this chart does go vertical and it, you know, pushes through the 0.5 fibs, the golden ratio, 702, 786, and it does continue to go here, I think you could tap out of the all-time high there and come back in for a macro wave 4 and then go again, possibly. Okay, now where would we come back to in any kind of corrections if we was to roll at any point, have some kind of micro correction or whatever? There are targets in this chart that I'm going to show you. Okay, so what we do have here is the fact that we've melted through these fibs, and like I've said to you, the bulls go up the stairs, and what we've done here, we've melted through the 0.5 fib, and right now we're currently melting through the golden ratio. Look at that. So we're melting through these, we're absolutely pushing up. So this is typical of a wave 3, because you know, people think you go up like that, come back, go up like that. You don't. In wave 3s, you absolutely just keep going vertical, and it's like a disbelief wave basically because of the power of it. For example, we had it there, and then I remember this wave really well as well. It just kept coming up, and obviously you're going to have resistance and local highs like we did there. You're coming up, resistance, but eventually you just keep coming up, and it's just like it just keeps going. And it's not until you start to create the bearish patterns, okay, the big micro, you know, bearish divergence, and you fall back through the ribbon, increasing probabilities and things like that, that you should even entertain taking profit or going short on Bitcoin. So I rode this all the way up, okay, all the way up, and it's only at this point here when we start to create the monster bearish pattern, which I relayed to you way back then in, you know, April 2021 right there. We've got the breakdown, we've got the back test, the lower high just there, and then boom, I was looking at 28k buyback zone. It was a monster short for me. I think it was around about 50% short. I forget what it was. From this point here on the retest, came all the way back down. Yeah, look at that, 50% short. It was a monumental move. My channel went viral at that. Okay, I did make a video. We've tapped that level. I think it was around about 64k, which was my target on the 1618, and then we came back down. I was looking for the monster short. It was around about 28k. 64k, 28k was the thumbnail title right there, and the video, and you know, the channel blew up at that because I called that correction like an absolute boss, and then it started to come back up. But what I didn't envision, that this is the B wave of an A, B, C wave correction. I thought that we've got an A, B, C zag in here, and then we've got another impulsive move here for Bitcoin. But what I didn't envision is a larger cycle that I think we've actually been in for Bitcoin. And what we do have here, you know, from a macro standpoint, is the fact that what we've done from this low here for Bitcoin is done something like this. This has been a macro 1, a corrective wave 2, this is your 3. Confluence at that particular level is the likes of Chainlink, XRP, Ethereum, you know, many coins, you know, corrected an ABC zigzag at that point. Okay, so and then right there, boom, 4, and right now it's your final 5th wave coming up. So within this wave, like I said to you, if this is a final 5th wave coming up and not necessarily, you know, a correction coming back up before another drop, we should see 5 waves impulsive, corrective waves, you know, sideways, ABC zigzag, flat, whatever, a wave 2, and right now the 3rd wave should be a vertical wave which comes up and takes out all resistance points. So this is why I'm respecting this wave. I'm respecting this pump because, you know, at the minute, if this is a wave 3, it's doing exactly what I thought it would do. It's going vertical, you know, just like this wave 3 did here. This right now is going vertical. So like I said to you, just respect the pump. If I'm correct, this has been a 1, ABC 2, and this is a 3. So this has the power to come up. Now, if it gets rejected at this point, you can clearly see how if it taps that 1 fib and starts going for some kind of macro ABC zigzag, is your left shoulder, basically. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders pattern, see you later, you're off to the moon basically. Or even some kind of cup and handle pattern, look at that, come back in a handle, everyone shits themselves, but then it goes again in the final blow off top phase of a final fifth wave. And essentially you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that for Bitcoin down the line. Okay, so I wish everyone knows to look, but like I said to you, the bulls go up the stairs. Once you take out the resistance, they're always on the radar for buyback zones. So at any point, if we start to break up here and start to correct, these will be the areas of support that we'll be putting bids on. You've got the 0.5 fib at 32807. You've got the golden ratio at 39089, and at the moment we're currently toying with a 702 fib. Now I have had that target 786, a bit of a crossroads there, so if we get rejected at that point, these will be my buyback zones coming back. But I do actually think if this is a wave 3, this actually has the power right now to get to the all-time high. If we get rejected at that point, edge your ABC zigzag, you've got the 1, you've got the flat 2, you've got the 3, the zigzag old nation 4, and then the final fifth wave blow off top. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Back soon with an update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.